Rachel Maddow, this is a March 2020 interview that she did on television with one of the late night hosts. I can't remember which one. But I want you to listen to how reasonable she is, even when she believes that COVID has a 2% fatality rate. Listen to her on the need to continue normalcy and, hey, we don't all need to be wearing masks. Listen.
It's likely to spread around the entire world. A lot of people are going to get it. Potentially most of the world's population are going to get it, which sounds terrible. But most of the people who get coronavirus will not die from it.
Okay.
It's got about a 2% fatality rate. And the way that we all need to deal with it, although it is a new threat, we've never seen this virus before, it's actually very old-fashioned ways of protecting ourselves. You do all the things that you do to protect yourself from getting a cold or from getting the flu. We don't have to do anything outrageous. We don't need to change our lives drastically at an individual level.
I like that, Rachel Maddow. That makes a lot of sense to me. Can I just also note, Clay, because she's a lib, there was no, you're not a doctor. You remember that was the thing that everyone would always say to you if you tried to break from the consensus. Like, yeah, I have a brain and I'm using it. And what you're saying, maskers, is crazy. She was saying that, just so everyone understands, about COVID when she thought the fatality rate was about 100 times what it actually is.
Yes.
Okay? It's probably 0.02. And she thought it was 2%. Now, that doesn't sound necessarily like a huge difference till you actually do the math. And it's about 100 times less dangerous than what she was saying at that point in time. And she was like super chill about it at a 2% fatality rate.
Yes. And she continued in that clip to say wearing a mask doesn't make any sense. It's not going to have any real value. She sounded like us. So what happened? She was wildly wrong in terms of the fatality rate. And remember, they ripped Trump for saying that the fatality rate was going to be way lower. And frankly, Buck, we don't even know what the fatality rate is because the number of people who actually died from COVID alone is tiny.
I'm going to tell you something. This is going to be like JFK files and some of the redacted 9/11 stuff. They will never let you see the real raw data numbers and everything about COVID. This is going to get put in the vault for 50 years, meaning there'll be numbers. I get that, but you'll never see all the internal communications. They will have ways of hiding this from you because this is, in terms of health policy credibility, this is an extinction level event for the CDC.
Yes.
What just happened. And it should be. It should be. But they know that, so they're never going to come clean on all this. I'm still, though, sitting here saying the fact that Joe Biden's going to be walking around with a mask on, this is, look, I don't say this in it is glib, I guess. Fine. This is a mental illness now for people. It has been for a long time. This is a function of mental illness. This is like you can't walk on the cracks in the sidewalk or you have to count as you walk or something, like an OCD syndrome.
I've got friends that are terrified, and I think it's going to happen, and I'm predicting it's going to happen very soon. Kids back in masks. You listen to me. I am telling you, it's going to be on the East Coast. It's going to be on the West Coast. Gird your loins for battle. They're going to try to put your kids in a mask if they live in a city. Get ready. This is where we're headed.